Okay, let's just jump right in. What if ending global scarcity wasn't some far-off dream, but actually a solvable engineering problem? What we're looking at today is a blueprint for a whole new economic operating system, one that's designed to do exactly that, to create a predictable, prescribed end to hunger.
And really, this whole thing kicks off with this one powerful idea. Hunger is a systems failure, not a product problem. I mean, that one sentence completely reframes the entire conversation, doesn't it? It suggests that maybe, just maybe, we've been trying to solve the wrong issue all along.
So before you can even think about building a solution, you have to get the diagnosis right. The idea here is that we absolutely have to move beyond our old, weak assumptions about what's really causing scarcity in the first place.
And this right here, this is the central weak assumption laid bare, the idea that some single product, like a magic food bar, could ever end hunger. The real problem isn't that we don't have the perfect food, it's the weakness in the entire structure, the system that's supposed to deliver it. The bar is just one piece of a much, much larger puzzle.
Okay, so if the bar isn't the whole solution, then what exactly is it for? Well, this system gives it a really interesting name. It calls it a stabilization primitive. You can think of it as the very first tangible piece of this massive puzzle we're trying to solve.
So let's get into the specifics of this Barness Miracle Bar. It's a 400-calorie, whole food, plant-based bar. They come packaged in what's called a treasure chest, which holds 60 bars. That adds up to 24,000 calories. So for one person, that's a stable 2-week food supply, and it has at least a 4-month shelf life. This isn't just a snack, it's a foundational unit of nutritional security.
And that is absolutely the key. The bar is not a silver bullet. Its entire job is to buy time. It provides immediate stability, nutritionally speaking, for a community. It creates a window, an opportunity to go in and start rebuilding the bigger, broken systems around them.
Now, the scale we're talking about here for just this first step, it's staggering. To make a real dent, the plan calls for producing 2 million of these bars. Not a month, not a week, every single day. That's the kind of production you need to even begin to turn the tide.
But making the bars is only half the battle. The other half is getting them to people. And to solve that, the blueprint calls for deploying 8 million self-powered vending machines all over the globe. And get this, the goal is audacious: to put stable nutrition within 500 meters, that's just a short walk, of every single person on the planet.
All right, so we've got the physical part down. Now let's talk about the brains behind the whole operation. As we peel back the next layer, we find the intelligence core. And it's made up of 2 AI systems, one called GenAI and the other Keepa.
And I love the way the sources explain how they work together. They use a car analogy. Think of Genie as the engine. It's the generative intentional intelligence. It's what creates all the possibilities. It provides the horsepower to get things moving. But Keepa is the super advanced GPS. It's the quantum intelligence prescriptive algorithms. It filters through all the possible paths that Genie comes up with to find and prescribe the single best route. So one generates, the other optimizes.
So let's zoom in on Keepa for a second. What it does, at its core, is just cut through all the noise. It's designed to eliminate all the suboptimal choices, all the good enough guesses, and reveal what the sources call the absolute best path forward for managing literally any resource.
So how does it do that? How does it find this absolute best path? Well, it's a 4-step process. First, it harmonizes data, basically pulling in information from millions of sensors and databases. Then, it manages resources, using all that data to prescribe the most efficient way to use food, land, you name it. Third, it finds paths, optimizing logistics for everything from supply chains to where you build new infrastructure. And finally, and this is so important, it optimizes ethically. It filters every single option with 99% accuracy based on a core do-no-harm philosophy. And really, this is what it all boils down to for the AI. It's about moving beyond mere guesses toward absolute truths regarding resource allocation. Imagine that. Replacing all our guesswork with mathematical certainty when it comes to humanity's biggest, most complex challenges. Okay, so we have the physical foundation and we have the AI brain. Now we can finally get to the absolute core of the system. A fundamental rewrite of our economic operating system itself. A shift from a world based on scarcity to one based on coordination. This brings us to this key idea of coordination economics. So right now, think about it. The cost to distribute something is a burden that every single product has to carry.
This new model completely reframes that. It turns the cost of distribution into a shared infrastructure expense, kind of like a public utility. And by doing that, you remove one of the biggest roadblocks to getting resources where they need to go.
And the structure for this new OS, well, it's visualized as this: the triple helix ecosystem. It's designed to be a super stable foundation for a resource-based economy, and it works by weaving together three fundamental pillars of our society.
So let's unpack those three strands. First, you've got technology, which represents industry and all its innovation. Then there's sustainability, which stands for government and making sure public policy is aligned with the goals. And finally, human health, which is all about academia, truth-based education, and our ethical frameworks. The idea is that it's not just three separate pillars, it's how they're woven together that gives the system its incredible strength.
So, what's the price tag for something this ambitious? The proposed investment is $100 billion. But this isn't just funding for one project. This is the capital needed to build out the entire tokenized infrastructure for this new global operating system.
So that brings us to the end game. What is the ultimate vision here? What does it actually look like to live inside this system? Well, the vision is the creation of something called Sanctuary QIL zones.
So what is a Sanctuary QIL zone? It's defined as an intentional AI-guided community. You can think of it as the full, complete installation of this new economic and social OS. It's designed to permanently, finally, end hunger by creating a completely self-sustaining local ecosystem. It's basically the blueprint made real.
And for the people who live there, the system makes some pretty incredible guarantees. A dream home, all you can eat, locally sourced food. A job that not only covers all your expenses, but actually leaves you with a monthly surplus. It's an economy where, by its very design, everyone's value is guaranteed to be more than what they need just to survive.
And the whole philosophy behind this, the why, is really captured in this next quote. It's about effectively voting with resources rather than weapons to rebuild the planet. It completely reframes global development as this collaborative building project, not some competitive fight.
And this is maybe the most crucial takeaway from all of this. The sources are suggesting that our limitations, they're not technological anymore. We have the tools, we have what we need. The final barrier, the final boss, if you will, is the coordination of the resources we already have. Which really leaves us with one final, big question to chew on. Is the final barrier to ending scarcity really a lack of resources, or is it truly, simply, a lack of coordination?